I never thought I'd be one of those poor bastards posting their L's on Reddit, but here we are. My name's Matt. My wife, soon to be ex-wife, is Jessica. We've been married for 5 years, together for 7. If you asked me 6 months ago how things were, I would have lied and said fine. But honestly, things have been rocky for a while. Jessica has always been high maintenance, but lately she'd morphed into a full-blown nightmare. Nothing I did was right. I breathed too loud, I chewed wrong, I didn't make enough money, I made too much money and was never home. You name it, she bitched about it. Our sex life had completely tanked. Every time I tried to initiate, she'd recoil like I was radioactive. I'm tired, I feel gross, you're too sweaty, the usual litany of excuses. About 3 months ago, she decided she needed to get her pre-wedding body back and joined this high-end boutique gym across town. Suddenly, she was working out 5-6 nights a week. She'd come home late, smelling like expensive sweat and cheap cologne, and immediately jump in the shower. If I asked about her session, she'd be terribly vague and snap, "God, Matt, stop interrogating me. I'm just trying to better myself. Maybe you should try it." Looking back, the red flags were huge enough to wrap a building in. But when you're in the thick of it, just trying to keep the peace in your own house, you ignore a lot. I just assumed she was going through a phase, or maybe she was just falling out of love with me. I didn't want to believe she was actually stepping out. The catalyst for this entire train wreck was a mandatory sales conference I had to attend in Chicago last week. I was scheduled to be done Monday through Friday. Jessica was weirdly thrilled when I told her. She put on this big show of being supportive, saying, "Oh, honey, the break will be good for you. Don't worry about the house. I'll hold down the fort." She practically packed my bag for me. The morning I left, she gave me a dead fish peck on the cheek and practically shoved me out the door to catch my Uber. I had a knot in my stomach the whole flight, a feeling that something was seriously off. Little did I know, I was about to find out exactly how off things were. I landed in Chicago, checked into my hotel, and sat through a 3-hour seminar on synergistic marketing strategies that made me want to gouge my eyes out. The whole time, that pit in my stomach kept growing. It wasn't jealousy, exactly. It was intuition. I went back to my room around 9 p.m. and decided to FaceTime Jessica, just to say goodnight. Call declined, immediately. 2 minutes later, I got a text, "Headache, going to bed early, love you." Love you, right. She hadn't said that to my face without a sigh attached to it in months. Here's the thing Jessica always forgets. I'm a tech nerd, a paranoid one. About a year ago, we adopted a rescue beagle named Buster. To keep an eye on him while we were at work, I installed high-def cameras in the living room and the hallway. Jessica knows they exist, but she thinks they only record when the security alarm is armed. They don't. They record 24/7, and I can access the live feed from my phone anytime. I poured myself a drink from the minibar, sat on the edge of the hotel bed, and opened the app. The living room feed loaded in crisp 4K. The lights were dimmed, but I could see everything. Jessica wasn't in bed. She was in the living room, pouring wine. And she wasn't wearing her usual ratty sweatpants. She was wearing the black lace lingerie set I bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago, the one she told me was scratchy and trashy before throwing it in the back of her drawer. Then the front door opened. In walked a guy who looked like he was carved out of granite. Tight t-shirt, biceps the size of my head. This had to be the trainer. Let's call him Ryan. Jessica didn't just greet him, she practically climbed him like a tree. They were making out within seconds, right there on the rug I bought at IKEA. I watched, frozen, my phone shaking in my hand. It felt like someone had poured ice water down my spine. They pulled apart for a second, and the audio on the camera is surprisingly good. I heard Ryan ask, "You sure he's not coming back?" Jessica laughed, a cool, cackling sound I rarely heard. Oh, please. Matt doesn't have the balls to bail on work. He's terrified of his boss. Besides, he's probably in his hotel room right now, crying over a spreadsheet. He's such a bore, Ryan. You have no idea how much I need a real man. A bore. I need to wash the plane smell off me, Ryan said, smacking her ass. Shower? Meet you in there, she purred. I set the mood lighting in the bedroom, too. They walked out of the frame toward the master bedroom. I sat there in silence for about 5 minutes. The shock was weirdly physical. My hands were numb, and I felt like I was going to throw up. My wife was having sex with a gym bro in our shower while calling me a bore. But then the nausea faded, and something else took over, something cold and angry. I looked at my phone. I had the app for the lights, the app for the thermostat, the app for the smart locks, the app for the Sonos sound system. I controlled every single volt of electricity in that house. I wasn't going to fly home and scream at them. That's what a bore would do. No, I was going to ruin their night from 800 miles away. I opened my laptop and cracked my knuckles. It was time to play. I couldn't do this alone. If I was going to burn my marriage to the ground, I needed witnesses. I needed my support system. I opened up Discord on my laptop. We have a server called The Council with my 3 best friends since college, Dave, Chris, and Sam. Usually it's just memes and sports betting, but tonight I pinged everyone with a link to a private stream. Get in here, now. Don't ask questions. Mute your mics. Within 30 seconds, 3 user icons popped up in the voice channel. Matt, you okay, man? You sound like you're hyperventilating, Dave asked. Just watch, I whispered. I shared my screen. On the left half, the interface for my Home Assistant dashboard, a beautiful grid of controls for every device in my house. On the right half, the live feed from the master bedroom camera. Jessica and Ryan strolled into the bedroom. They were wrapped in towels, her hair wet, laughing about something. Jessica dropped her towel and did a little spin. See, all those squats are paying off, she said, preening in the mirror. Jesus Christ, Sam muttered in my ear. Matt, is that the guy from her gym? Yep, I said, my voice shaking with rage and adrenaline. That's Ryan. I'm going to fly out there and kill him. I'm buying a ticket right now. No, I cut him off. Nobody is going anywhere. We are going to handle this remotely. I'm going to make them wish they were dead without ever stepping foot in the house. You guys are just here for the show. On screen, Ryan tackled Jessica onto the bed. They started going at it. It was gut-wrenching to watch, seeing the woman you promised your life to, moaning underneath a guy whose IQ probably matches his shoe size. It breaks something inside you. I wanted to smash my laptop. I wanted to cry, but the malice in my heart was stronger.
They look comfortable, I said, forcing a dry laugh. Too comfortable. I pulled up the climate control tab. The Nest thermostat was currently set to a cozy 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see how they like the polar vortex, I muttered. I switched the mode from heat to cool and dragged the slider all the way down to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I engaged the max fan setting to circulate the air as fast as possible. Okay, boys, I told the Discord chat, Phase 1 is active, the freeze out. You're a sick bastard, Dave said, sounding awed. I love it. On the screen, they were heavy into foreplay. Jessica was on top, grinding on him, completely oblivious. She looked happier than she had with me in years, which stung more than the actual sex. I opened a new tab on my browser and navigated to Spotify. I connected it to the Sonos system that runs through the entire house, including the high-fidelity speakers mounted in the bedroom ceiling, speakers Jessica insisted we get for ambience. What's the playlist? Sam asked. Death metal? Too cliché, I said. I'm thinking psychological torture. I searched for a playlist. Top 50 toddler hits. I hovered my mouse over the play button. "Wait for it," I whispered. "Let them get right to the edge." On screen, the pace was picking up. Ryan was gripping her hips. Jessica's head was thrown back. "Now," I said. I hit play, and I cranked the volume slider to 100%.
I didn't just press play. I dropped a nuclear bomb of annoyance. The first few notes of Baby Shark blasted out of the ceiling speakers with enough bass to rattle the window panes. Baby Shark, doot, 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 doot. The reaction was instantaneous and beautiful. Ryan, who had been mid-thrust, literally jumped. He scrambled backward like a crab on hot sand, falling off the side of the bed and tangling his foot in the sheets. He hit the floor with a heavy thud, his erection vanishing faster than my bank balance on payday. Jessica screamed. It wasn't a scream of fear, it was a scream of pure, unadulterated rage. "What the F? Alexa, stop!" she shrieked, covering her ears. But Alexa didn't stop, because I had disabled the microphone input on every Echo device in the house 5 minutes ago. "Mommy Shark, doot, 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 doot."
"Oh my God, my sides," Chris was wheezing on Discord. "Did you see him fall? He looks like a confused turtle." "Turn it off! Turn it off!" Ryan yelled, trying to untangle himself from the duvet. He looked terrified. "Is someone here? Is this a prank?" Jessica grabbed her phone from the nightstand. I watched her furiously tapping the screen. She was trying to open the Sonos app. "Access denied, sweetheart," I muttered, sipping my whiskey. I had changed the admin password while they were in the shower. She threw the phone onto the mattress. "It's not working. The app is frozen. Matt must have messed with the router again. He's always tinkering with this stupid shit." "Daddy Shark, doot, 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 doot." "Make it stop, Jess. It's so loud." Ryan covered his junk with a pillow, looking around the room like the speakers were going to attack him. "I'm trying," she snapped at him. "God, stop being such a baby and help me unplug it." She stood up on the bed, naked, reaching for the speaker mounted in the ceiling, but it was too high. She looked ridiculous, furious and ridiculous. "Time for phase 2, I told the guys. "Let's shed some light on the situation." I opened the Philips Hue app. I selected the master bedroom group. I didn't go for a romantic red or a soft yellow. I went to the color wheel and selected the harshest, coldest, bluest white available, 6500 Kelvin, and I cranked the brightness to 100%. Bam!
The room went from mood-lit sex dungeon to an operating theater in a nanosecond. It was blindingly bright. You could see every pore, every drop of sweat, and the sheer panic in their eyes. Ryan shielded his eyes like a vampire exposed to sunlight. "Ow, what the hell? It's blinding!" Jessica screamed at the ceiling, assuming I had just set up a glitchy system, not realizing I was the ghost in the machine. "I hate this house. I hate this stupid smart home crap." "She hates the house?" Dave laughed in my ear. "She didn't seem to mind the house when she was drinking your wine 5 minutes ago." Seeing them scrambling around, naked, blinded, and deafened by a children's song on a loop, gave me a twisted sense of satisfaction. But beneath the laughter of my friends and the adrenaline, I felt a sharp pang of misery. This was my bedroom. That was my wife, and seeing her naked body used to excite me, but now it just looked like meat. Cold, treacherous meat. "Okay," I whispered, "let's see how they handle the lock-in." I switched tabs to the smart locks. Ryan was already pulling on his boxers. "I can't do this, Jess. This is weird. The house is haunted or hacked or something. My vibe is gone." "Don't you dare leave," she hissed, grabbing his arm, her nails dug in. "It's just a glitch. I'll go flip the breaker in the garage. Just stay here." She grabbed a silk robe and marched toward the bedroom door. I waited until her hand was on the handle. Click. I engaged the electronic child lock on the bedroom door. We installed it to keep the dog out during the day, but it worked both ways. She pulled the handle. It didn't budge. She pulled again, harder. What the? She rattled the door violently. It's stuck! The door is stuck! You locked us in? Ryan asked, voice pitching up an octave. I didn't lock anything, she screamed, kicking the door. The system is crashing! Open, you piece of sh... She slammed her shoulder against the wood. Nothing. Grandpa Shark, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, I sang along softly in the hotel room. Gentlemen, I said to the Discord chat, the rats are in the cage.
The temperature in the room had dropped significantly. The AC had been blasting 50-degree air for about 15 minutes now. You could see goosebumps rising on Jessica's arms, and Ryan was literally shivering in his boxers. It's freezing in here, Ryan yelled over the unending loop of Baby Shark. Why is it so cold? Jess, seriously, what is going on? I told you it's a glitch, Jessica screamed back, wrapping her silk robe tighter around herself. She grabbed a heavy brass lamp from the nightstand and started hammering on the door handle. Clang, clang, clang. The door didn't budge. Solid oak, reinforced frame. I spared no expense on security, and right now, that investment was paying huge dividends. She's going to damage the finish, Sam noted in the Discord chat. That's mahogany, isn't it? Worth it. Time to turn this party up a notch. I went back to the Hue app. Constant bright light is annoying, sure, but you know what induces real panic? Strobe lights. I selected the party mode plugin I'd installed for a Halloween party 3 years ago and never used since. I set the speed to epileptic seizure and hit activate. The bedroom erupted into a chaotic flashing of red, green, and blue. It was disorienting as hell, even watching it on a screen. Ryan completely lost it. He fell to his knees, covering his head. Bro, what the is this the police? Are we being raided? It's not the police, you idiot, Jessica screamed. She looked like a demon in the flashing red light. It's the house. The hub must have short-circuited. I can't take this, Ryan yelled. He looked around wildly, and his eyes landed on the door to the ensuite bathroom. The bathroom! Does the bathroom have speakers? No, just the bedroom, Jessica yelled. Go, go!
They scrambled toward the master bathroom like rats fleeing a sinking ship. They practically fell over each other getting through the doorway. Jessica slammed the bathroom door shut behind them, and the muffled sound of Baby Shark instantly became bearable. I watched on the camera as the bedroom emptied. The party lights continued to flash over the empty, rumpled bed. Damn, Dave said. They escaped the kill zone. Did they? I grinned at my laptop. I have cameras in there too, gentlemen. No privacy in this house. I switched the feed to master bath. The bathroom was a sanctuary of white marble and expensive tile. Jessica and Ryan were leaning against the sink, panting. Ryan looked pale. Jessica looked murderous. Okay, Jessica breathed, running a hand through her hair. Okay, we just stay here until it stops. Matt's system reboots every night at 3 a.m. We just have to wait it out. Wait it out? It's 10:30, Ryan argued. I'm freezing, Jess. My clothes are out there. I'll buy you new clothes. Just shut up for a second so I can think. She was pacing now. God, I swear, when Matt gets back, I am going to make him rip all this shit out. He's such a control freak with his little gadgets. He probably set this up wrong. A control freak. Oh, sweetheart, I whispered. You haven't seen Control yet. I opened the control panel for the bathroom. We have one of those high-end Japanese smart toilets. Heated seat, bidet, auto lid, the works. It also has a privacy feature for the bathroom door, an electronic deadbolt that engages when the occupancy sensor is triggered. But I can also trigger it manually.
Click. I locked the bathroom door from the outside. Did you hear that? Ryan freezing. He tried the handle. Locked. You have got to be kidding me, he whispered. No, Jessica groaned. No, no, no. She shoved him aside and rattled the handle. It triggered the privacy lock. It thinks someone is trying to come in. So unlock it. I can't. The keypad is on the outside. They were trapped in a 10 by 10 tiled room. Now, I typed into the chat, let's mess with the environment. I accessed the smart shower controls. Steam mode. I activated the steam generator. Within seconds, a hiss filled the room as hot steam began to pump out of the shower vents.
And just for fun, I said, navigating to the toilet controls. I activated the bidet's cleaning cycle. The lid flew open and a jet of water shot straight up, splashing onto the floor and startling Ryan, who jumped back and slipped on the slick tile, cracking his elbow against the towel warmer. Ow! Ryan howled, clutching his arm. This house is trying to kill us. It's not haunted, Ryan, Jessica screamed, though she sounded less sure now. Stop crying. I'm done, Ryan yelled back, his voice echoing off the marble. I'm done with you. I'm done with this. You said your husband was a pushover. This place is a death trap. He is a pushover. I sat back in my hotel bed, watching them sweat as the steam began to fog up the camera lens. Who's the pushover now? I took a long sip of whiskey. Sam, pass the popcorn.
The steam in the bathroom was getting thick. On my laptop screen, the feed from the bathroom camera was turning into a gray, foggy mess. I could barely make out their silhouettes, but the audio, crystal clear. And the audio was music to my ears. I can't breathe in here, Ryan was wheezing. It's like a sauna. Turn it off, Jess. I don't know how, Jessica screamed back. Her voice was shrill, cracking with panic. The touch panel is wet. It's not registering my fingers. You said this place was high-tech. It's a death trap. I'm going to pass out. I have low blood sugar, Jess. I need a smoothie. Shut up about your blood sugar, Ryan. My hair is ruined. Look at this. I watched as a blurry hand swiped at the camera lens, momentarily clearing the fog. Jessica's face loomed into view. Mascara was running down her cheeks in black streaks. Her hair, usually perfectly straightened, was frizzing up into a chaotic mane. She looked like a drowned rat. This isn't a glitch, Chris whispered on Discord. Matt, look at the humidity sensor. I checked the dashboard. Humidity, 95%. Temperature, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. They're cooking, I said. Slow roasted infidelity. You should probably talk to them before they actually get heat stroke, Dave suggested. We want them miserable, not dead. Plus, the suspense is killing me. I need the reveal. He was right. It was time. I adjusted my headset microphone. I opened the intercom master bath channel. I took a deep breath, pushing down the urge to scream, to cry, to vomit. I channeled every ounce of cold corporate indifference I had learned in those soul-sucking business seminars. I held down the talk button. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Ryan.
My voice boomed through the bathroom speakers, slightly distorted but unmistakable. The effect was immediate. The movement in the bathroom stopped dead. The splashing of the bidet, the frantic tapping on the wall panel, silence. Even the heavy breathing seemed to pause. Matt? Jessica whispered. Her voice was small, trembling. Who's Matt? Ryan hissed. My husband, you idiot, she hissed back. Then louder, addressing the ceiling. Matt, is that you? Where are you? The house is going crazy. I know, I replied calmly. I'm making it go crazy. What? She sounded genuinely confused, as if the concept of consequences was foreign to her. What do you mean? Are you watching us? I'm seeing everything, Jess. The wine, the black lingerie you told me you threw away, and of course, Ryan. Nice boxers, by the way, Ryan. Do they come in men's sizes? Ryan let out a strangled yelp. He's watching. I told you. Oh my God, he's going to kill us. Is he in the house? Is he in the vents? I'm not in the vents, Ryan, I said dryly. I'm in Chicago, enjoying a very expensive whiskey while I watch my wife destroy our marriage in 4K resolution. Matt, listen to me, Jessica started, her voice switching instantly from fear to that manipulative gaslighting tone I knew so well. You're misunderstanding. Ryan he's my trainer. He came over to help me with my form. He felt faint, so I let him use the shower. It's not what it looks like. I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound that echoed in their steam-filled prison. Jessica, I said, I have footage of you riding him like a mechanical bull 5 minutes ago. Do not insult my intelligence. The lie is over. Silence stretched for a few seconds. The steam swirled around them. You psycho, she finally spat, the mask dropping completely. You creepy, stalking psycho. You have cameras in the bedroom? In the bathroom? That is illegal, Matt. That is an invasion of privacy. It's my house, I countered. And you invited a stranger into it to screw him in my bed. You waived your right to privacy the moment you betrayed me.
Let us out, Ryan yelled, banging on the door. "I'm calling the cops." "Go ahead," I said. "Please call the police. Tell them you're trapped in a man's bathroom while banging his wife. I'd love to see the police report. I'm sure your clients at the gym would love to hear about it too." "No police," Jessica shouted at Ryan. Then, back to the ceiling, "Matt, stop this. Immediately. It's hot, I'm dizzy, and this isn't funny anymore. Open the door." "I don't think so," I said. "You guys looked so hot and heavy earlier. I'm just trying to keep the temperature up for you. But I am a benevolent God. I'll make you a deal." "What deal?" Jessica snapped. "I'll unlock the bathroom door," I said, "but the bedroom is still locked. And the bedroom, well, let's just say the bedroom is currently experiencing a bit of a sensory overload. If you want to leave the bathroom, you have to face the music. Literally." "What does that mean?" Ryan whimpered. "It means," I said, hovering my mouse over the lighting effects tab again, "welcome to the jungle." I clicked the button to unlock the bathroom door. Click. They scrambled for the handle instantly, bursting out of the steam-filled bathroom and back into the bedroom. But the bedroom they returned to wasn't the one they left. While they were cooking in the steam, I had changed the playlist. Baby Shark was gone. Now playing at maximum volume, the hamster dance. And the lights weren't strobing anymore. They were set to a deep blood-red pulse, fading in and out like a heartbeat. Phase 3, I told the Discord chat, psychological disintegration.
Dippy-dippy-dippy-dippy-doo-doo-doo-doo. Dee-da-dee-dee-doo-doo. If you've never heard the hamster dance played at 100 decibels through a high-end Sonos Arc soundbar and sub, count yourself lucky. It is a sonic weapon. It drills into your brain and liquefies your frontal lobe. Jessica and Ryan stumbled out of the bathroom like survivors of a shipwreck washing up on a cursed island. They were soaking wet, red-faced from the heat, and shivering in the sudden blast of the 50-degree AC. Ryan slipped on the hardwood floor, his wet feet finding zero traction, and went down hard on his hip. Again. "My hip," he groaned, curling into a ball. "I think I chipped a bone. Jess, I'm suing. I'm suing everyone." "Get up, you idiot," Jessica screamed over the high-pitched chipmunk voices. She looked frantic. The red pulsing light made her movements look jerky, like a stop-motion monster movie. She ran to the bedroom door and threw her entire body weight against it. Thud. It held firm. "Matt," she shrieked at the ceiling. "Matt, this isn't funny. Open the door. I'm freezing." I took a slow breath, watching them on my screen. "Sam," I said into my headset, "activate the TV." "With pleasure," Sam replied. At the foot of our bed sits a 65-inch 4K OLED TV. It's my pride and joy for Sunday football. Currently, it was black. Suddenly, it roared to life, but I didn't put on Netflix. I didn't put on the news. I cast the live feed from the security camera directly onto the screen.
There was a 2-second delay, and then there they were. Giant 65-inch versions of themselves. They froze. They stared at the TV. The image was brutal. Ryan looked pathetic, curled on the floor in wet boxers, clutching his hip, shivering like a hairless cat. But Jessica? Jessica looked destroyed. Her mascara was smeared down to her chin. Her hair was a frizzy, wet bird's nest. Her expensive silk robe was clinging to her in unflattering ways. She looked old, tired, and mean. She stared at herself, her mouth dropping open. For a woman who spent 2 hours getting ready every morning, seeing this 4K reflection of her shame must have been agonizing. "Look at you," I said over the intercom, my voice cutting through the hamster dance. "Is this the upgrade, Jess? Is this the excitement you were missing? You guys look like wet rats fighting over a piece of cheese." Jessica covered her face with her hands, turning away from the TV. "Turn it off! Stop looking at me!" Ryan scrambled up, trying to cover himself with a throw pillow. "Dude, stop recording us! That's illegal!" "I'm not recording," I lied. I was definitely recording. "I'm just holding up a mirror. You don't like what you see?" "The window!" Ryan shouted suddenly, pointing to the large bay window on the far wall. "Jess, the window!" "It's the second floor," she yelled back. "I don't care. There's a bush. I'm jumping." Ryan was in full flight mode. He didn't care about Jessica. He just wanted out of the funhouse of horrors. He sprinted toward the window. "Dave, the blinds," I commanded. "On it," Dave chuckled. Just as Ryan reached the window and reached for the latch, the motorized blackout blinds began to descend. Whirr.
Ryan frantically tried to undo the latch, but his hands were wet and shaking. The heavy, weighted bottom of the blinds hit his head.
No, no, no. He tried to push the blinds up, but the motor was fighting him. It was a slow-motion tug-of-war between a terrified personal trainer and a Lutron Sade motor. The motor won. The blinds sealed shut, plunging the room into total darkness, except for the pulsing red hue lights. God damn it! Ryan punched the blinds, which did absolutely nothing. You're not leaving until we're done, I said. Done with what? Jessica screamed, looking at the camera lens, her eyes wild. What do you want, Matt? You want a divorce? Fine, you can have it. Just let us out. Oh, the divorce is happening, I said calmly. That paperwork is the least of my worries. But right now, I feel like we need to address the elephant in the room. I paused the music. The sudden silence was deafening. What elephant? Ryan asked, trembling. The fact, I said, leaning into my microphone, that you two think you're alone in the house. Both of them went rigid. What? Jessica whispered. I didn't answer. I just typed a quick command to the smart lock on the front door downstairs. Beep. Click. The sound of the front door unlocking echoed faintly up the stairs. I invited some friends over, I lied. They should be there any minute. I hadn't invited anyone, but they didn't know that. Panic level, midnight, Chris whispered in the Discord. Matt, you are evil. I try. The silence in the bedroom was heavy enough to crush a tank. The hamster dance had stopped. The red lights were still pulsing like a dying star, and the only sound was the frantic, wet breathing of my wife and her lover. Downstairs, the front door lock had clicked open. Who is it? Ryan whispered, his eyes darting around the room. Is it your boys? Are they going to beat my ass? Shut up, Ryan, Jessica hissed. She was standing in the middle of the room, shivering, hugging herself. Matt wouldn't do that. He's passive. He's aggressive, sure, but he's not violent. Is that what you think, Jess? I spoke into the mic, keeping my voice low and smooth. You think you know me? You think the guy who pays your credit card bills and listens to you complain about your mother for hours is the only version of me that exists? I switched tabs to my audio library. I have a folder of sound effects I use for D&D campaigns I run online. I found footsteps, heavy boots, wood floor, .wave. I played it through the living room speakers directly below the master bedroom. Thump, thump, thump. Slow, deliberate steps. Ryan let out a sound that I can only describe as a squeak. Someone's coming up the stairs. Oh God, oh God. He scrambled off the floor, slipping again on the wet hardwood, and bolted for the walk-in closet. He didn't even look at Jessica. He just dove in among her designer dresses and slammed the closet door shut. Ryan, Jessica screamed. You coward! Get back here! She was alone in the room now, just her, the pulsing red lights, and my voice. Wow, I said dryly. He really is a keeper, Jess. The moment things get tough, he hides behind your coats. Is that the real man you needed? Because from where I'm sitting, he looks like a scared child. Stop it, Mad, she screamed at the camera, tears finally spilling over. Just stop it. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry? Okay, I'm sorry. Is that what you want? I screwed up. Screwed up? I laughed, but it came out sounding broken. You didn't forget to pick up milk, Jessica. You brought a stranger into our bed. How long? What? How long? I enunciated every syllable. It doesn't matter, she stammered. It matters to me, I said. Answer the question or I turn the strobe lights back on and lock the bathroom. And maybe I tell whoever is walking up the stairs that the door is unlocked. I played another sound effect, door handle rattle .wave. This time through the hallway speaker right outside the bedroom door. She flinched violently. A month, okay? It's been a month. A month, I repeated. So while I was working overtime to pay for that car you wanted, you were screwing Mr. Protein Shake? You were never here, she yelled back, and there it was, the shift, the blame. You're always working. You're emotionally unavailable. I was lonely, Matt. Ryan listened to me. He made me feel desirable. You just look at me like I'm a roommate. I look at you like a roommate because you stopped acting like a wife 2 years ago, I shouted, losing my cool for the first time. I tried, Jessica. I planned dates. I bought gifts. I tried to talk. You shut me down every single time. You pushed me away, and then you blamed me for being distant. Man, calm down, Chris whispered in my ear. Don't let her get to you. She's manipulating you. Stick to the plan. He was right. I took a deep breath. She was doing exactly what she always did. making everything my fault. You know what? I said, my voice dropping back to that icy calm. You're right. I haven't been attentive enough. I haven't been present. So I'm going to be very present right now. I opened the app for our robot vacuum. We have a high-end one that maps the house. I had named it Dustbin Bieber. It was currently docked in the hallway charging station right outside the bedroom door. I engaged manual control.
"What is that noise?" Jessica asked, looking at the door. Whirr. The vacuum motor spooled up to max power. "I'm sending in the heavy artillery," I told the Discord chat. I drove the vacuum forward, full speed, and rammed it into the bedroom door. Thud. Jessica jumped back. "Someone's at the door. Matt, tell them to go away." Thud. I backed it up and rammed it again. Thud. "It's relentless," I said over the intercom. "Kind of like my schedule, right? Or my emotional unavailability?" "Open the door, Matt." She was sobbing now, sliding down the wall to sit on the floor, pulling her knees to her chest. She looked small. For a second, I felt a twinge of pity. Just a second. Then I remembered the text she sent me. "Love you," just minutes before jumping Ryan's bones. "I'm not opening the door yet," I said. "We still have one guest unaccounted for." I looked at the closet door. "Hey, Ryan," I shouted through the speakers. Come out, wherever you are. I hope you're not wiping your snot on my Brooks Brothers suits." The closet door remained shut. "Sam," I said, "do we have access to the closet lighting?" "You know we do," Sam replied. "Light him up." "Light 'em up," I commanded. We have Philips Hue light strips running along every shelf in the walk-in closet. It was designed to make Jessica feel like a Kardashian when she picked out her shoes. Now, it was about to turn Ryan's hiding spot into a rave. Sam hit the macro. The closet exploded into a chaotic, strobing rainbow. Pink, green, yellow, blue, flashing at maximum speed. The door flew open. Ryan tumbled out, shielding his eyes, looking like a vampire dragged into the sun. He was wearing my robe now, my favorite cashmere robe, which pissed me off more than the affair itself. I surrender, Ryan yelled, holding his hands up. "Bro, please, I have a heart condition. I have exercise-induced asthma." "You seemed to have plenty of cardio endurance 20 minutes ago," I remarked over the speakers. "You didn't need an inhaler when you were banging my wife." Ryan looked at the camera, his face pale and sweaty. "Look, man, I didn't know. I swear to God. She told me you guys were separated. She said you were basically roommates and you were okay with it." I looked at Jessica on the screen. She was still sitting on the floor, but her head snapped up. "I never said that." "You did," Ryan shouted, pointing a shaking finger at her. "You said he was a workaholic beta male who couldn't satisfy you and that he didn't care what you did as long as he didn't have to deal with it. You said he was practically asexual." "Asexual?" I laughed, a cold, hard sound. "Is that the narrative, Jess? I'm the problem?" "You are!" Jessica screamed, scrambling to her feet, wrapping the sheet around herself like a toga. "You drove me to this, Matt. You and your stupid computers and your business trips. Ryan listens to me. He cares about my feelings."
"I don't care about anything right now except getting out of here," Ryan yelled, cutting her off. He looked at the camera lens again, eyes pleading. "Dude, listen, I'm just a personal trainer. I'm 24. I didn't sign up for a hostage situation. I'll leave right now. I'll never see her again. You can keep the membership fees. Just unlock the door." "You'll keep the fees?" I asked, feigning surprise. "Wow, how generous. You sleep with my wife and offer me a refund on her glute bridges. A true gentleman." "Ryan, stop talking to him," Jessica hissed, grabbing his arm. He shoved her off, hard. "Get off me, you crazy bitch. You dragged me into this. You said he was in Chicago until Friday. You said his security system was for show. This guy is Jigsaw." "Did you just shove her?" I asked. My voice dropped an octave. The room went quiet. Even the guys on Discord stopped laughing. Ryan stammered. She grabbed me." "I don't like my wife very much right now, Ryan," I said slowly. "In fact, I plan on divorcing her and taking everything she owns. But she is still my wife. And if you put your hands on her again, I won't just lock the door. I'll release the footage of what you two are doing to your employer. I found the gym's Facebook page and your mom's Facebook page. Her name is Linda, right? Nice lady, loves her garden." Ryan turned ghost white. "You wouldn't." "Try me," I said,
touch her again." He backed away from Jessica, hands raised, retreating to the corner of the room. Jessica stood there, stunned. She looked at Ryan, the real man she had risked everything for, cowering in the corner, willing to sell her out to save his own skin. And then she looked at the camera. For the first time all night, the look on her face wasn't anger or annoyance. It was shame. Deep, crushing shame. "He's a coward, Jess," I said softly. "Look at him. He's throwing you under the bus to save his reputation. Is this who you wanted to replace me with?"
She didn't answer. She just wrapped her arms around herself and started to cry. Real tears this time, not the manipulative crocodile tears she used to get out of speeding tickets. "This is getting sad," Dave whispered in my ear, "like actually depressing." "Yeah," I muttered, rubbing my temples. The adrenaline was fading, replaced by a headache and a heavy feeling in my chest. "It is." But I wasn't done yet. I needed to ensure they never forgot this night. "Okay," I said, my voice returning to business mode. "The rats have turned on each other. Phase 4 is complete. Now for the grand finale." "What finale?" Ryan squeaked. "Please, just let us go." "I'm going to open the bedroom door," I announced. Hope flooded their faces. "But," I added, "I'm not unlocking the front door downstairs, and I'm turning off the lights in the rest of the house. Pitch black. If you want to leave, you have to find the manual override key for the smart lock. It's hidden somewhere downstairs." "You're making us play a game?" Jessica asked, voice trembling. "Think of it as a scavenger hunt," I said, "for your freedom." I clicked the unlock command for the bedroom door. Click. The door popped open a fraction of an inch. "And just so you know," I added, "I have the Roomba patrolling the hallway, and I taped a kitchen knife to it before I left." I hadn't, obviously. That would be insane. But in their current state of mind, they'd believe anything. "Good luck," I said. I cut the lights in the entire house. Total blackout. Let the games begin.
I switched the camera view on my dashboard. Standard 4K was useless now that I'd killed the lights. I toggled night vision on. The screen turned that ghostly, grainy green you see on those ghost hunting shows. It looked exactly like Paranormal Activity, except the demons here were a cheating wife and a guy named Ryan who probably shaved his legs. "They're coming out," Sam whispered. "Here we go." On the screen, the bedroom door creaked open further. Ryan stuck his head out his phone's flashlight to sweep the hallway. The beam cut through the darkness, illuminating the family photos on the wall. Photos of me and Jessica in happier times, now just obstacles in their escape route. "Coast is clear," Ryan whispered. "Where's the vacuum?" "I don't hear it," Jessica said, stepping out behind him. She was barefoot, tiptoeing. "Maybe he was bluffing. Matt wouldn't tape a knife to a vacuum. That's insane." "He locked us in his steam room and played kid music for an hour," Ryan hissed. "The guy is clearly off his meds. Watch your ankles." I waited until they were halfway down the hall, right near the top of the stairs. I activated Dustbin Bieber. The vacuum, which had been lurking silently in the guest bedroom doorway, roared to life. I steered it directly into the hallway, intercepting their path. Ryan screamed. It was a high, undulating shriek that I'm pretty sure broke the sound barrier. "It's here! It's got a knife!" In the green glow of the night vision, I watched the defining moment of their relationship. The vacuum rolled toward them. There was plenty of room to step around it, but Ryan panic brain took over. Instead of stepping aside or kicking it or acting like a human being, he grabbed Jessica by the shoulders and shoved her toward the machine to create a barrier between him and the imaginary blade. "Take it! Kick it!" he yelled, scrambling backward. Jessica stumbled, her bare foot hitting the plastic bumper of the Roomba. She let out a cry of pain and surprise, flailing her arms to keep her balance, but she tripped over the vacuum and fell hard onto the hallway carpet. "Oh my God," Dave said in the Discord. "Did he just use her as a human shield against a vacuum cleaner?" "He did," I said, my voice flat. "He absolutely did." Jessica scrambled away from the vacuum, kicking it onto its back, where it spun its wheels helplessly like a dying turtle. She shone her phone light on it. "There's no knife," she screamed, looking back at Ryan. "There is no knife, you pathetic piece of trash. You pushed me." Ryan was pressed against the wall, hyperventilating. I panicked. I thought it was going to slice my Achilles." Jessica stood up. Even in the grainy night vision, I could see the shift in her body language. The fear was gone. It was replaced by pure, molten hatred. And for the first time tonight, that hatred wasn't directed at me. "You pushed me," she repeated, her voice dangerously quiet. "Matt is torturing us, and you, my protector, just threw me at a robot." "We need to get the key," Ryan deflected, edging toward the stairs. "Let's just get the key and leave." "There is no key, is there, Matt?" Jessica shouted at the nearest camera. She knew where they all were now. I pressed the talk button. "Smart girl, there is no physical key. It's a smart lock, remember? It uses a code." "What's the code?" Ryan begged, already halfway down the stairs. "I'll type it. Just give me the code." "The code," I said, improvising, "is the date of our wedding anniversary. 6 digits. Month, day, year." Silence. Ryan looked at Jessica. "Well, what is it?" Jessica froze. She stood at the top of the stairs, her mouth opening and closing. "Oh, this is rich," Chris laughed. "She doesn't know." "She definitely doesn't know," I confirmed. "Jess," Ryan asked, "type in the code." I think it's June," she stammered. "June 12th, or maybe the 14th, 2018? "You don't know your own anniversary?" Ryan yelled. "Are you kidding me?" "You don't know it either," she snapped. "I'm not married to him." "Matt," Jessica yelled, "please, I'm tired. I'm cold. Just let us go. I don't remember the date. We didn't do anything big this year because you were working." "We didn't do anything big," I corrected her over the speakers, "because you told me you had a migraine and went to bed at 8 p.m. But looking at your credit card statement, I see you spent $200 at a steakhouse that night. Was the steak good, Ryan?" Ryan froze on the bottom step. "The ribeye was decent," he mumbled, then immediately clamped his hand over his mouth. "You took him to dinner on our anniversary," I said. The anger was back, hot and suffocating, on my dime. "Matt, The code," I interrupted, "is not the anniversary, since you clearly forgot that. The code is the name of the first dog we fostered together, the one you made me give back because he shed too much." "Barnaby?" she whispered. "Try it," I said. Ryan ran to the front door keypad. He punched in the numbers corresponding to the letters BARNABY. Beep, beep, beep. Access denied. "It didn't work," Ryan yelled.
"Oops," I said. "Must have changed it. Maybe it's the name of the hotel where we spent our honeymoon? Oh, wait, you spent the whole week complaining about the humidity. Never mind." "Stop playing games!" Jessica screamed. She picked up a vase from the entry table, a vase my mother gave us, and hurled it at the wall. It shattered into a million pieces. "That was a jagged little throw," I observed. "Clean up on aisle foyer." "I am going to break every window in this house," she threatened, grabbing a heavy umbrella from the stand. "Go ahead," I said. "They're impact-resistant hurricane glass. You'll just dislocate your shoulder." And honestly, seeing Ryan try to fight a window might be the comedy relief we need right now. "I'm calling 911, Ryan shouted, pulling out his phone again. "I don't care about the scandal. I'm calling them." "Look at your phone, Ryan," I said. He looked at the screen. "No service? How is there no service?" "Wi-Fi jammer," Sam said in my ear. "Gotta love those illegal gadgets you bought from China." "I prefer the term network management tools," I replied to Sam. "No signal," Ryan cried, tapping the screen frantically. "He's jamming us." Jessica sank onto the bottom step of the stairs, putting her head in her hands. The fight was draining out of her. She looked broken. "Matt," she said, her voice hollow, "please, just what do you want? Do you want me to admit I'm a terrible person? I am. I'm awful. I cheated. I lied. I used you. Is that what you want to hear?" I looked at the screen. Hearing her say it, it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. It just felt empty. "I want," I said, "for you to leave. But not yet. There's one last thing I need you to see." "What?" she whispered. "Go to the living room," I said. "Turn on the TV." "I'm not watching us have sex again," she cried. "No," I said. "Not sex. Math."
Jessica and Ryan trudged into the living room. The only light came from the standby LED on the television. They sat on the couch, the Italian leather couch I worked 80-hour weeks to afford, sitting as far apart from each other as possible. "Okay," Jessica said, her voice trembling. "We're watching the TV. Turn it on." "Sam," I said, "execute Project Liquidation." The TV flickered to life, but instead of a camera feed, a PowerPoint presentation appeared. Yes, I made a PowerPoint. I told you, I'm a corporate guy. When I process trauma, I organize it into slides with bullet points and depressing projections.
The title slide read in bold crimson font, "The Cost of Doing Business with My Wife." "Oh my God," Dave choked out in the Discord. "He made a deck. Matt, you are a legend, a psychotic legend." "Next slide," I commanded. The screen changed. It was a split-screen timeline. On the left, Matt's location. On the right, Jessica's spending. "Let's look at the data," I narrated over the speakers, using my best boardroom voice. "September 12th, I was in Detroit meeting with Ford. You charged $180 at Sushi Roku. 2 entrees, 4 cocktails. Ryan, tell me, does Jessica like spicy tuna, or is that just what you ordered?" Ryan looked at his feet. I like the crunch roll." "September 24th, I continued. I was in New York. You withdrew $400 cash from the ATM near the cinema. And strangely, Ryan posted a new pair of Nike lifting shoes on Instagram that same day. Price tag, $395. Coincidence?" Jessica stood up, her face red even in the dim light of the screen. "You tracked my spending? You were spying on my bank account?"
"It's a joint account, Jessica," I shouted, slamming my hand on the desk in my hotel room. "It's our money. Money I earned while I was away missing you. And you spent it on shoes for this steroid-injecting toddler?" "I don't do steroids," Ryan protested weakly. "Next slide," I growled. This was the kill shot. A pie chart titled, "Asset Distribution Post-Divorce." The chart was entirely blue. The legend for blue read, "Matt." There was a tiny, microscopic sliver of red. The legend for red read, "Jessica." "What is that?" Jessica narrowed her eyes. "That's not right. We live in a community property state. I get half. I get half the house, half the savings, half the 401k. That's the law, Matt." "Ah," I said. "You seem to have forgotten the document you signed 3 days before the wedding. The one my father insisted on." Her face went slack. The prenup?" "The prenup," I confirmed. "Specifically Clause 7, Section B, the infidelity clause. It states that in the event of proven adultery, and I think we can agree that 4K footage of you bouncing on Ryan constitutes proof, the cheating spouse forfeits all claims to spousal support and any assets acquired during the marriage." I paused for effect. "You leave with what you came with, Jessica," which, if I recall correctly, was a 2014 Honda Civic with a dented bumper and $12,000 in student loan debt. The silence in the living room was absolute. You could hear a pin drop. Ryan slowly turned his head to look at Jessica. The calculation in his eyes was visible. He wasn't looking at a lover anymore. He was looking at a liability. "Wait," Ryan said, his voice changing. It lost the wine and became cold. "So she doesn't get the house?" "Nope," I said. "She doesn't get the Tesla? That's leased in my name. Gone. Does she have any money of her own?" I laughed. "She works part-time as a lifestyle consultant. She makes about $800 a month. Her credit card bill last month was $4,000. Do the math, Ryan."
Ryan stood up. He actually stepped away from the couch. "You told me you were rich," Ryan said to Jessica. He sounded disgusted. "You told me you ran the household. You told me you were going to take him to the cleaners." "Ryan, stop," Jessica pleaded, reaching for his hand. He pulled away like she was contagious. "It doesn't matter. We have each other. We can figure it out." "Figure it out?" Ryan scoffed. "I live with 3 roommates, Jess. I can't support you. I thought this was an upgrade." "An upgrade?" Jessica screamed. "You were using me?" "And you were using me," Ryan shouted back. "You just wanted a boy toy to make you feel young. Look at you. You're a mess. And now you're broke? I'm out." He turned to the camera. "Hey, Matt, dude, I'm sorry. Seriously. I didn't know about the prenup. I didn't know she was like this. If I testify for you, can I go? I'll tell the judge everything. I'll tell them she initiated it. I'll give you the texts." "Ryan!" Jessica shrieked. She lunged at him, clawing at his face. "Get off me!" He shoved her back onto the couch. I watched them turn on each other. It was ugly. It was pathetic. And it was exactly what I needed to see. The love she claimed to have found, it was as hollow as her promises to me. It evaporated the second the credit card declined. "You guys are perfect for each other," I said, my voice heavy with exhaustion. "But the show is over. I'm done," I told the Discord group. "I can't watch this anymore." "Unlock the door," Dave said softly. "Let them rot in the real world." I closed the PowerPoint. I closed the camera feeds for the bedroom and bathroom.
"Ryan," I said. "Jessica, the front door is unlocked." They both froze. "Get out," I said. "Both of you. Right now. If you are still in my house in 5 minutes, I'm calling the police for trespassing. And Jessica, don't bother packing a bag. I'll have your shit sent to your mother's house in garbage bags." "Matt, wait!" Jessica cried, looking at the ceiling speakers. "We need to talk. You can't just kick me out in the middle of the night." "I just did," I said. "Get out." I heard the front door click. Ryan didn't hesitate. He bolted. He didn't look back. He ran out into the night wearing my cashmere robe and his boxers, leaving his lover behind without a second thought. Jessica stood there for a moment longer. She looked around the living room, at the life she had just incinerated. Then slowly, she walked to the door. She opened it, and the cool night air drifted in. She stepped out, and the door clicked shut behind her. I engaged the deadbolt. Click. I was alone. Well, alone in a hotel room in Chicago, staring at a screen showing an empty hallway. "It's over," I whispered. "You okay, man?" Chris asked. I poured the last of the whiskey into my glass. "No," I said, "but I will be."
It's been 3 months since the night of the smart home apocalypse. I figured I owed you guys a final update before I log off this account forever. After Jessica and Ryan ran out that night, I didn't sleep. I sat in that hotel room staring at the ceiling until my flight the next morning. When I landed, I didn't go straight home. I went to a locksmith and a lawyer, in that order. When I finally walked into my house, it felt like a crime scene. And I guess, emotionally, it was. The vase Jessica threw was still shattered in the hallway. The bedroom smelled like sweat and steam and them. My cashmere robe, the one Ryan wore, was lying in the front yard where he ditched it to run faster. I burned it in the backyard fire pit. Watching that cashmere melt felt like a Viking funeral for my marriage. The aftermath with Jessica. Jessica tried to come back the next day. She didn't have a key. I had already wiped her codes, so she stood on the porch ringing the video doorbell for 20 minutes. She looked rough. No makeup, puffy eyes, wearing sweatpants. She put on a hell of a performance. "Matt, please, we need to talk. I was confused. It was a mistake. Ryan manipulated me." I spoke to her through the doorbell camera. I didn't even open the door. "You weren't confused when you were mocking me in our bed," I told her. "My lawyer will be in touch. Do not come back here." The divorce was surprisingly fast. The prenup was ironclad. She tried to fight it, claiming she signed it under duress, but my lawyer played a clip of the audio from that night where she admitted she knew exactly what she was doing. She folded. She walked away with her car, her clothes, which I generously had packed by a moving company so I didn't have to touch them, and $0 of my money. Last I heard, she's living with her sister in a 2-bedroom apartment and trying to become an influencer. Good luck with that. The fate of Ryan. Ryan actually tried to sue me. I kid you not. He sent a letter demanding compensation for emotional distress and unlawful imprisonment. My lawyer sent a reply that basically said, "We have video evidence of you trespassing, engaging in lewd acts, and assaulting Mrs. Lastname by pushing her into a vacuum cleaner. We are happy to release this footage to the court and the public if you wish to proceed."
He dropped the suit the next day. I also may have sent an anonymous email to the gym owner with a few screenshots. He doesn't work there anymore. The emotional toll. I'm not going to lie and say I'm perfectly fine. I'm not. Being betrayed by the person you built a life with destroys your ability to trust. For the first month, I couldn't sleep in the master bedroom. I slept in the guest room. I eventually hired a contractor to completely redo the master suite. New paint, new floors, new bed. I needed to exorcise the ghosts. It hurts. It comes in waves. Sometimes I miss the version of Jessica I thought she was. But then I remember the look on her face when she realized the money was gone, and the sadness turns back into that cold, protective indifference. What I learned, and advice for you. If you're reading this and you have that pit in your stomach, that feeling that something is off, listen to it. Trust your gut, but verify with data. My intuition told me something was wrong. My technology confirmed it. Don't let someone gaslight you into thinking you're crazy. If they call you paranoid or controlling for asking basic questions, that's a red flag. Get a prenup. I know, it's not romantic. Jessica cried when I asked for one. She said it meant I expected us to fail. But a prenup isn't about expecting failure. It's about insurance against insanity. That piece of paper saved my financial future. It turned a potential 10-year court battle into a 3-month paperwork shuffle.
Know your worth.
Jessica called me a bore and a pushover. For a long time, I believed her. I thought if I just worked harder, bought nicer things, or was more exciting, she'd love me again. That was bullshit. She didn't cheat because I was boring. She cheated because she was broken. Don't light yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Smart homes are powerful. If you're going to automate your house, make sure you're the admin. And maybe don't put speakers in the bathroom unless you're ready to use them for psychological warfare. Conclusion. I'm single now. The house is quiet. The cameras are still recording, but now they just catch the delivery guy dropping off my Amazon packages. I kept the Roomba, by the way. I renamed it Blade. It patrols the hallway every day at noon. It's a good reminder that even when things get messy, you can always clean it up and keep moving. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I'm going to go delete the Baby Shark playlist from my Spotify now. I think I've heard enough of it to last a lifetime. Matt out.